It's time for Spiritual Awakening Radio. My name is James Bean. Today on the program, we'll explore the Clementine homilies. The Ebionite Hebrew Christians recognize those in India who worship the one God, are vegetarian, and follow the same ethical precepts. The Ebionites and Sant Mat, today on Spiritual Awakening Radio. The Clementine literature represents the only complete, whole examples of Ebionite scriptures that survives the centuries, representing the teachings of the Ebionites, the Hebrew Christians, the Jewish Christians of the first few centuries A.D. There are some surprising teachings to be found in the Clementine literature, including a belief that Christ has appeared to the nations of humanity for many generations, over the generations of time. And in the Syriac Clementine recognitions and homilies, we find this divine voice speaking, saying, "I, knowing the intentions of all those yet to be before the foundations of the world, have secretly met and made myself known to everyone as is worthy of each person. But as this is so, I have will to be recognized and give rest to those who take refuge in me." A fascinating passage. From the point of view of the Ebionites, it is possible for people living in other countries to have access to the one true God. The following passage is from the Recognitions of Clement. This Ebionite Christian author has very nice things to say about their brothers and sisters in India who worship the one God, follow peaceful customs and laws, and are vegetarian or vegan. Imagine, clearly he sees parallels between his own religion and that of his brothers and sisters in the Indian countries, quote-unquote. India was divided into many different kingdoms 2,000 years ago. This is one of the most amazing passages I know of in the extra-canonical scriptures, as it is a rare example of one religion, Ebionite or Hebrew Christianity, recognizing truth in another religion. A rare interfaith moment in human history. The Recognitions of Clement and the Clementine homilies are surviving Jewish Christian texts representing the teachings of the Ebionites. One love, interfaith love. It says in Recognitions of Clement, Book 9, Chapter 20, "There are likewise amongst the Bactrians in the Indian countries immense multitudes of Brahmans, who also themselves, from the tradition of their ancestors and peaceful customs and laws, neither commit murder nor adultery, nor worship idols, nor have the practice of eating animal food, are never drunk, never do anything maliciously, but always revere God." Recognitions of Clement, Book 9, Chapter 20, titled Brahmans. Preserved in the Clementine homilies and recognitions, the Clementine literature of the Ebionite Christians. In addition to some vegetarian Hindu Brahmins and followers of Jainism back then, who follow the one supreme soul and are vegetarians, I just know these peaceable, inclusive Ebionites of antiquity would have also approved of the Sants of India, like Guru Nanak, Kabir, and Radhasoami, who follow these same ethical precepts and are devotees of the one God, who is timeless, all spirit, truth, and compassionate. Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Sikh Guru, said, "One who does not steal, commit adultery, slander anyone, gamble, eat meat, or drink wine will be liberated in this very life." The one God. This is from the morning prayer of Guru Nanak, the Japji. Says Guru Nanak at the beginning of the Japji in the Adi Granth, the Sikh scriptures, "The creator of all is one, Ek Oankar. Truth is his name, Satnam. He is the doer of everything. He is fearless without anger. He is undying, unborn, and self-illumined. This is revealed by the Master's grace. Meditate. He was true in the beginning. He was true through all the ages. He is true even now. O Nanak, he shall ever be true." Guru Nanak from the opening verses of the Sikh scriptures of India in his morning prayer, speaking of the one God. This is a beautiful hymn of Guru Kabir preserved by Rabindranath Tagore in Songs of Kabir, also about the one God. "How could the love between thee and me sever? As the leaf of the lotus abides on the water, so thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. As the night bird Chakar gazes all night at the moon, so thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. From the beginning until the ending of time, there is love between thee and me. And how shall such love be extinguished? Kabir says, as the river enters into the ocean, so my heart touches thee." Another point of agreement between those in India who follow the Sant tradition and Ebionite Christianity of long ago is being against idolatry as well as animal sacrifice, ritual animal sacrifice for religious purposes. Kabir said, "Is God in idols and holy ground? Have you looked and found him there?" Kabir says that even if you worship stone idols for 1,000 years, you will never get an answer. Kabir says, "O man, such is the condition of your world, and such are the dealings in this Kali Yuga, iron age. Who can suffer these illusions day by day? This is not my way. Everyone loves the teachings of the Smritis, the scriptures, but does not know the reality of the heart. They sacrifice living animals in front of lifeless idols. They see nothing with their eyes. They give up the nectar and drink poison." Kabir says, "I have seen people practicing their religious disciplines and bathing in the morning. They kill living beings and worship the stones. They appear not to have any wisdom." Another point of agreement between the Sant tradition of India and the Ebionite form of Jewish Christianity, once practiced by the early Jesus movement and their spiritual successors, is vegetarianism. Kabir says, "The dinner of beans and rice is excellent when flavored with salt. Who would cut throats to have meat with his bread?" Commentary by Dr. Jagasar Das in the complete bijak of Guru Kabir. Kabir strongly emphasized vegetarianism so that one must not take the life of other living creatures, as their life is dear to them as ours is to us. Kabir stated, "Do not kill any innocent life, as the same life force pervades all. The sin of your actions will never leave you, even if you listen to millions of scriptures." Unquote. Kabir also said, "As you know pain in your own self, realize that other living beings feel pain in the same way." A couple of passages from Kabir and commentary by Dr. Jagasar Das in The Complete Bijak of Guru Kabir. The harshest words that Kabir, the great spiritual master and poet-mystic from northern India, loved by Sufis, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Sants, Christians, and Hindus alike, ever spoke, the harshest words that Kabir ever spoke were directed against the slaughter and consumption of innocent animals. Kabir said, "Keep away from the man who eats meat. His company will ruin your meditation." It's hard to reach the more subtle states of tranquility in meditation on an animal flesh diet, based on the suffering of other beings, and practicing being in denial about the importance of such suffering. Hazur Baba Sawan Singh. I must point out that animal food, even if a single particle is eaten, is detrimental to spiritual progress. Unquote. Hazur Baba Sawan Singh, the great Radhasoami master, in a letter preserved in the book Spiritual Gems, letter 21. The following on the reason why disciples of Sant Mat advocate following a vegetarian diet is by Swami Sant Sevi Ji Maharaj from his book The Harmony of All Religions, published by Maharishi Mehi Ashram in Bihar district, India. Beloved Swami Sant Sevi Ji, the saints have addressed the sin of violence with particular attention to the foods which are eaten. Foods which are produced by killing living beings, as well as foods which are not pure and fresh, are considered tamasic. Consumption of these is prohibited by the teachings of the saints. This includes animal products such as meat, fish, and eggs. These foods inhibit the clarity of the mind and the health of the body. There is an old saying, whatever kind of food we take in, its properties will also affect our mind. Further, Kabir Sahib said, the kind of food and drink which we consume directly influences how our mind will become. We must be disciplined in what we eat and drink, and by being disciplined, our wealth and spiritual path are protected. This world becomes agreeable, and so does the next world, since we won't be incurring the karmas from killing other living beings. Unquote. Swami Sant Sevi Ji Maharaj. All genuine past and present masters of Sant Mat, the path of the masters, the most advanced saints of inner light and sound, advocate following the vegetarian diet. And many are now even going vegan. In order to even be initiated into the meditation practice of Sant Mat, called Surat Shabd Yoga, Inner Light and Sound Meditation, one must be at least lacto-vegetarian. Being vegetarian is a requirement in order to be initiated into the meditation practice of Sant Mat. Meditation upon the inner light and sound of God. Sant Mat is a vegetarian path for mystical, spiritual, ethical, and theological reasons. The masters teach that foods are of three kinds: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. This last category of foods, which includes all flesh foods, is to be completely avoided. Sattvic, or pure foods, the first category, includes grains, beans, vegetables, fruits, seeds, and nuts. Sattvic foods are considered by mystics to promote relaxation, meditation, and spiritual experience. The bad karma and other negative effects of flesh eating darkens one's vision of the inner light, interfering with concentration and meditation. It's interesting to notice that the sattvic diet of Sant Mat, of Hinduism, and the yoga philosophy of India is also the life extension diet, the anti-cancer diet, the diet for antioxidants, a very much nutrient-dense diet, and most of the other plant-based nutrients, and the diet of the inner light and sound mystics as well, East and West. Vegetarianism has been practiced by Pythagoreans, Platonism, Gnosticism, the Ebionites, the inner circle of initiates in the Mandaean religion, and Manichaeanism, and many in India, including those who follow the path of the masters, or Sant Mat. An amazing passage is found in the Recognitions of Clement, a surviving Ebionite Christian scripture from antiquity. There are likewise amongst the Bactrians, in the Indian countries, immense multitudes of Brahmans, who also themselves, from the tradition of their ancestors and peaceful customs and laws, neither commit murder nor adultery, nor worship idols, nor have the practice of eating animal food, are never drunk, never do anything maliciously, but always revere God. An amazing passage from the scriptures of the Ebionites. Today on Spiritual Awakening Radio, the Ebionite Christians recognized those in India who worship the one God, are vegetarians, and follow the same ethical precepts. My name is James Bean. Thanks for joining me. Tune in again for another edition of Spiritual Awakening Radio.